welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon Reviews. As usual, 4 reviews up this week. The first of which is a game called CounterAttack, which is a pretty generic title when you get down to it. The counterattack is against an alien invasion, which is, once again, not kind of narrowing it down. Remembering the plot, it's I think it's an invasion of robots. I don't remember if they were human created or not. It's a shmup. So, the plot isn't all that necessary or important. Do you remember the plot of R-Type or Radius or Raiden or Twinbee? I could go on. Ikaruga. It's you are the perceived lone ship, but that's not actually true. It's one of those shmups where you will occasionally see other spaceships in certain levels. But, for gameplay purposes, you are the lone ship, unless you engage in multiplayer. And I will note we did not try out multiplayer. Honestly, Petty got his copy of the game too late to do that. Unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. Anyway, so CounterAttack is a horizontal scrolling spaceship shooter, which is much more uncommon, especially in the modern day, than the vertical scrolling shooter. Mainly because a lot of modern stuff likes to go full on bullet hell, and you can do bullet hell in horizontal fashion, but it's much more popular to go with that vertical orientation. I'm sure there are perhaps technical reasons for that, but they are a bit beyond me. I just know that when it comes to the development of a lot of modern shmups, they love to fill the screen and shrink the hitbox. Not this game. If you're watching the game footage, you might be able to discern some influences that this particular title is wearing on its HUD. And I'm referring to that power-up system on the top of the screen. Because, that's lifted directly from Gradius. It's not one-to-one, certainly, but if you've played a Gradius game, you know what this is. And it functions it operates in the same way, with one important distinction that kind of affects everything else, I think. Or rather, I'm guessing this is the reason why I did not enjoy this game as much as I thought I would. Anyway, you have upgrades for speed, spread, side, which are the beams that go out in the side. Beam, that's to get a secondary beam which seems to fire when I wasn't shooting. Missiles. Plasma, drone, and the one that really changes the Gradius dynamic, because like even though they're calling them drones instead of options, they function like the Gradius options. The big one is add one or add on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what this does is it changes. It literally adds a bar to the to each of the upgrade parameters, and it can do this up to, apparently, according to the tutorial, 14 times.
Jesus.
Yeah. So this is why I think the game is as slow as it is. Even when you get like 4 or 5 power speed ups, like you're not really darting around like you would in shmups from the classic era. You know, that one of those classic speed up dilemmas in shmups is you want to go fast, but maybe not too fast.
Mm-hmm.
You may want like 2 or 3 speed ups, but any more, and then you'll be zipping around so fast you'll be going into debris,
other people's bullets, the wall, you know.
Uh-huh. Well, in this case, the ground. I should point out that this game has ground levels and space levels. And yeah, the ground functions like it does. You know, you ram into it, you die.
As one would not want to do.
Other features that are notable are the pilot system. Because instead of playing as an anonymous someone or other, and where the emphasis is actually on the ship, a good deal of the later Gradius and R-type games did this particular gameplay twist, where you have access to a whole bunch of ships. Same idea here, it's just instead of ships, it's pilots. That's mainly because this game has a lot more actual plot in the game than your average shmup. Mm-hmm. As in, you probably already seen it on the, on the footage here, but the levels open up with your pilot and like the captain or the general person talking about what you need to do in a given level, or something about the fight or the war. Since this is a simple shmup, I would not recommend saying that fast. It's not objective based. It's you fly to the right, you shoot the things, and you kill the things. Up to a end boss, and you kill the end boss. I'm like... Now, the difference in the pilots has to do with, the bars up top. Different pilots have different strengths and weaknesses. Some will be faster, some have more firepower, or have the capacity to have those things in the first place. That kind of thing. And the other is what they call the ultimate. That's basically your special ability. One of them has the ability to call in a squadron to add in extra firepower. Another one has this missile that blasts off to the right and explodes. There's one that has this cosmic storm thing that rains down. Another has a shield that allows you to ram into the enemies. And so on and so forth. And that's really, I think, what you're going to base your run on. what kind of special weaponry you get out of anything else. I couldn't say that. Like, once again, like the actual plotting in this game, the dialogue and the characterization, it's all very toilet papery. Yeah. You know, it's a thing that's there because you expect it to be there. Though, once again, the developers tried to do a bit more than your average shmup. The emphasis is on tried. I do not think that they succeeded in... You know, they injected more story. They did not make it compelling. I just, you know, wanted to shoot the evil ships. Thank you very much. Now, I suppose the most interesting thing that this brings to the table, gameplay-wise or structure-wise, however you want to frame it, well, is this system right here. I'm trying to think what they called it. Well, I think they called it the upgrade system, but it's a different upgrade system than the upgrade system you experience in the levels. See, this is like the mechanical upgrade ship, or the mechanical upgrade system, where you get parts in the level and you're able to attach those parts to your ship. Like, and there are a lot of parts in this game. The marketing materials boast about 500, or perhaps over 500, which is a lot. And, you know, some of them operate very utilitarian. You know, it's like they'll provide automatic boosts to like power or speed or spread or multiple, you know, green bars at the top. You know, or will give you the extra capacity, or maybe doing other gameplay quality of life features like two of my go-tos were the one that when you die you don't lose anything except speed. Like when you die in the game normally, you'll lose one bar of upgrade. You know, you'll lose the level of upgrades, which is more forgiving than your classic shmups, to be sure, but still annoying. So I kept that one. The other one I really liked was the magnetized upgrade grabber, let's call it. I forget what its in-game name was, but, you know, it's like when you get close to upgrades, they get grabbed automatically, which has been seen in other games, you know. Once again, fairly dull, but very useful. And there are some stranger upgrades. Like, the oddest I found was the one that took away your side lasers and gave you laser swords. I tried that out for a level and switched back to the side lasers because this is a shmup, so having melee weapons isn't really useful or recommended.
Unless you're crazy.
Yeah. Well, what you got that thing on right now?
I know what I said.
Yeah. Once again, yeah, I do not recommend the laser blades for your ship. I mean, they do have their uses. I'll give it that, but you know, I prefer the things that can shoot out more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the other thing of note is the structure of the levels, because this game has gone all Star Fox 64 on us, to a certain degree. Like, once again, you've probably seen it in the footage, but, you know, in the, let's say, overworld, the space selection, you're able to select from a, well, eventually you'll be able to select a list of levels. Like, it's actually something you have to unlock. Not exactly sure how you do that. because and they represent difficulties. Like there's one path that's the tutorial path. The lower path is the easier path, and it operates like Star Fox 64 in that the higher you go on the map, the more difficult it is. Though I will say that at least what's presented normally on the overworld, all paths will eventually converge in the finale. Like, that is assuming that they don't once again do the Star Fox 64 thing of, going through the hardest route unlocks the secret area to the good ending. And I would bet paper money that they do that. Like, and yeah, that's about it in terms of the overall descriptors of gameplay and structure and design and all that fancy stuff. So I've mentioned my biggest caveat with the game, but aside from the perceived sluggishness of the game, do I think this is a good shmup? Yes, I do. It's not a great one. Like, once again, I'm not playing I'm not playing the best from Japan or anything. In fact, I think this is from a Western developer. Which, once again, you don't see a lot of. And also, the styling is a bit unusual because it's probably not. This game looks like a mid-tier PlayStation 2 game, I'd say. Which is definitely not in vogue in what's going on with shmups, at least nominally. But it's like, I don't think it's an artistic choice more than it's a budgetary one. Because this is from what I'm assuming to be a small indie team. So, and they went the route of Unity rather than, a custom pixel engine or something like, something a bit more custom. And that could be another reason why this game feels less than speedy compared to a lot of other shmups from all different eras that I could name. And if you're wondering why speed is such an issue, it's because it's a shmup. Shmups are kind of built around speed. But otherwise, this is a perfectly serviceable shmup in its gameplay. I like that it's trying to do a couple of its own ideas, even if some of them are piggybacking on very obvious references. Once again, if you're even a casual veteran of the genre, you've probably played a Gradius game in some way, shape, or form, and you'll recognize what this game is going for. Petty, do you have any additional thoughts on CounterAttack here?
Not really, like, gameplay-wise. It does have some weirdness with the resolution. Like, some of the quick settings are only square resolutions that break the UI. So you actually have to go deeper into the menus to actually pick a not royally fucked resolution.
That's one way of putting it.
I mean, when you're cutting off the play button or the start game button, I would call that a royally fucked resolution.
Fair enough. Yeah, I gotta admit, this was my favorite Ultimate Attack, the crew grouping.
Yeah.
Like, you do assemble quite the assortment of firepower. I did like the, you feel the upgrades. It's just, the 14 levels worth of upgrades may have been a bit overboard.
Yeah.
Like, I do wish I had been able to scrounge another copy of this in time for some multiplayer, but alas, we were only initially gifted one code.
Indeed.
So, and I do have to keep mentioning this because it keeps happening. If you want us to actually try out your multiplayer, like, now granted, a fair amount of the games we do get are local only.
Yeah.
This is not one. Like this, this does have local multiplayer for like 1 to 4 players, and strangely enough, it's got more for online, 2 to 8.
It might be a holdover from older systems that can only take 4 consoles locally, or 4 controllers locally.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like,
I know modern systems can take up to 8, I think.
Maybe, like, in the idealization of this game, because here's the thing. This isn't a console game.
Yeah.
This isn't an arcade game. This was made for the PC.
They might have just been hearkening back to days of yore. Could be. This seems like a very Xbox Live Arcade type of game. Not in a bad way, but definitely if they started on the 360 era, this is something that would have definitely been put on an indie showcase or something.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in terms of pricing, this game does clock in at $14.99, which
again, that's Xbox indie pricing right there.
Yeah, that's about, I'd say, the proper amount of pricing given what's on display here.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this is a new shmup. This is something, this isn't like a port of an old game, and it's not something that's directly trying to go for the classic, era. It's not something that's really trying to ape the 8 and 16-bit shmups, which I know went for a lot more back in the day, but we're not back in the day. We're now. And like I said, this game is going for far more ambition than a lot of shmups go for. Like I said, this is another thing that I would place in like the PlayStation 2 era or the Xbox Live Arcade, having this Star Fox 64 structuring and multiple paths. Things that are encouraging replay value outside of getting good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not about munching your quarters and more, just and play it.
Yeah, and simple pattern memorization.
Mm-hmm.
And, dicking you over if you die. That was another hallmark of, like, the Gradius series. It's like, when you got powered up and you died, you lost all that stuff, and honestly, it was better to reset the game. You were that far behind.
I remember Naka's rants.
Somebody should alert Naka to this game's existence. He might like it.
We may pass the review on to him later. Who knows? It really depends on life.
Probably. Anyway,
so I didn't see a save state option, so
yeah, no, you don't have that. Like you do. Once again, you do have to do the Star Fox 64 thing of making it through an entire run in one go. Once again, it's a shmup, so it shouldn't take you too long.
Oh, there is a glove. Oh, hi.
Sorry about that. Max said that he was really close to the end, and then only messed up a few times, resulting in losing like less than 5 minutes of progress. But it
anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, at the end of the day, CounterAttack is a solid shmup that's got some nifty ideas, but once again, it's a bit on the sluggish side, and also it's kind of lacking personality overall.
Oh, did we mention the level editor?
I don't think so.
Yeah, apparently it has one that you can pull stuff from workshops, so I guess...
Yeah. It's not just got a level editor, it's got a campaign editor.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like the game enough to delve into that stuff.
Fair. It's just something that exists for people. I know there are some people who go gaga over stuff like that, so it's...
How much does it let you edit? Does it let you like design the terrain and stuff as well as...
Probably.
Go into that and let's see.
Yeah, load new... Oh, yeah.
You were definitely playing some stages that had dudes on the ground.
I can spawn... Looks like every enemy in the game.
So...
I can make him beefy and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. That does sound fairly robust.
I don't see anything to add terrain, but I'm also not doing that deep a dive into this, so... And, like, you can make boss enemies at levels end when they were killed. You can turn on and off click, and, like, you have a... It's deep enough that you could make some cool stuff, but...
Yeah, how Desimon of them? That's a deep cut.
But yeah, I guess go nuts. If you always wanted to make your own, shooter type thing.
Yeah. I suppose it does depend on if you want to make a horizontal or vertical, because I don't think this game has verticality in mind.
Yeah, you could only go right, it looks like.
Indeed. Anyway, so I think that will wrap up our review of CounterAttack here. So be sure to tune in after the break as hang on here. I hate it when I'm on the wrong. Yeah, as Petty Fan will be reviewing Firmament.